Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time checking out any of my videos, please do well to click on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you get a message every single time I post a new video. And for all my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for your love and support. I take it to heart and I do not take it for granted. Mwah. You guys are the real MVPs. So I was present for the African Tech ENT 1.0 that was held in May. It was hosted by the People Capacity Management Limited. They are a human resource and management consulting firm that provides services, expertise, and resources to both the private and public sector. The topic that was generally discussed for the day was rethinking the sustainability of the African tech business model. Some of the people present, to mention a few, were Dr. Babatunde Obrima, the COO of FinTech Association of Nigeria. We also had Atinike Idowu. She is the COO of Tremi, and we also had Victor Benga Afolabi, who is the founder of Eco Innovation Center, Art of Technology, Lagos. There were also a lot of other people present, but well, those are the ones I could remember for now. I will try not to make this whole session boring because, well, people generally think that tech is boring and too businessy, so let's switch it up a bit. There was a question and answer session going on. I genuinely did not make it to the first panel session because there was really like crazy traffic in Lagos. So the first question was related to the brain drain in the tech space for workers and as well as the mismatch of talent, and for businesses who are looking to attract talents for their startups, what could actually be done to help and assist them.
For instance, so let me take the kind of business that maybe you are building a product, for instance, and you need a product designer, and you need someone who's really talented. What you can attempt to do is to be creative about the way you structure the building process, right? So if you can build it into a project, you may not be able to get a full-time hire from a Flutterway, for instance, but if you build it into a project, that big product designer can accommodate your startup. Right, so you have the value, right, of that Flutterwave staff, but you are not paying, you don't have the expense, right? So packaging your products into phases could help so that you can have some expert knowledge. Then again, culture is everything, and the level of flexibility. Because when you're starting also, beyond the experience, you want people with the drive and commitments. These days we hear of startup founders or tech creators getting people, then after a while they start zoom up with their ideas and all of that. So if you are able to first identify people with similar mind, right, break it up into projects, so you find a way to incorporate it, you also should be willing to experiment. Also, typically, depending on the field or the industry you're playing, typical 9 to 5s, if you are thinking of attracting the gen, it doesn't really work with them. So some level of flexibility, and that's why you need to be intentional about what you want. So if you can say, I don't have to come to work 9 to 5, what that does for you is it takes away the cost, the expense of having to get a physical office, right? So you can work from anywhere, just give me my project. This is the time tied to very strict performance measures. So if you deliver my project in 3 months, you can get maybe a percentage. So it's really just about being creative and also ensuring that you set very clear performance milestones.
I genuinely, for one, enjoyed this event because there was a breather in between the panel sessions and the question and answer sessions. And we had a never have I ever game session, which is obviously fun and very unexpected because, like I said, the ideology of people and the tech space is that, oh, businessy, so strict coding and whatnot. But the truth is that there's also a lighter part to it. And this game was genuinely fun. Enjoy!
most of my day playing video games. I've never spent most of my. If you spend most of your days playing video games, then you sit. If you people are still standing, never have I gone into the bathroom to use a tech gadget. You went into the bathroom just because you wanted to use a tech gadget. It could be your phone, it could be your laptop. You just went to sneak to the bathroom because who's still standing? Who's still standing? Who's the last person standing? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him! Alright, but let's see how long you will still stand. Let's see how long you will still stand. Never like binge watch a TV series. You watch a TV series in one day. You just kept on watching from the beginning to the end. Have you ever done that?
At some point, I was wondering if this guy that was still standing was even a human being at all in the first place, or a 21st century human being. Because there was really one that was like without a doubt. Like, never ever have I spent most of my day playing video games. I mean, every 21st century generation that I know of has probably been a victim of that at some point in time, where you have something to do, but probably you got a new game console or something, and then you spend all your time on it. That's valid. And even the other one, binge watching a series. I do that all the time. I binge watch K dramas because I mean there has to have been like one season movie that you have loved that you decide to binge watch and watch like the whole episodes from beginning to the end straight up. But the guy still did not sit down. He finally did though at some point. It was really entertaining.
Am I taking a photo of my food and posted it?
I don't like posting.
Okay.
I don't privacy.
Alright, you got to sit at some point. You know, you got to sit. We'll keep on going. Okay, never mind lost an important file on my computer because it crashed. Ladies and gentlemen.
And the second panel session, which I was incredibly grateful for and pleased with, addressed the issue of funding for startup. And when I say funding, I mean funding in general. One, why startups in Nigeria and Africa in general are having issues with funding. And number two, why also at the other end, most investors are looking towards the African region to invest. So it was kind of like a two-way street, but clarifications were made and I really enjoyed the session. So go ahead and listen. It could be valuable to you someday. You may just find yourself as a business who is looking for investors. Generally, even if you're not in tech, I believe these are things that could help businesses if you are aware.
Again, it's a chicken and egg approach, and I think the major challenge has to be kind and the mindset of founders have been here. Every time I have the opportunity, I say the same thing. That the founders need to be conscious about the kind of solutions that they offer out there, and make sure that those solutions have real use cases in this environment. That's one. The second thing which I've seen quite a number of founders is the fact that there's a perception that the money coming from the foreign investors is cheap money, unaccountable money, money you can tell stories about, and that's why most of people are attracted there. That's the gospel truth. It's not because you don't have much more money in here from entrepreneurs in here, but you find most founders saying, I don't want a Nigerian investment business. Yeah, money is too much. The problem is you also understand the local nuance. When you look for local investors, you need to have a proven business model. They need to be sure, unlike this funny feeling of, oh, just give valuation. The average entrepreneur in here who is also in the same environment, you need to prove to him that you are running a proper business, the investment will come. That's why I think there's a natural gravitation in that direction. Is it sustainable? I doubt it. And we begin to see that now with the investment winter, we've seen even ourselves, we used to have an incubator and Zarito, we're pivoting towards startup studios. The very startup studio is that you will put together founders, you will understand what's happening, and most times you're part of the people co-founding it because you want to be sure that the investment you've given is accountable. I've done 4 investments written up in excess of $200,000 written up because for one of them, the first investment I gave them tranches of $50,000. First one they took me out to lunch to give me an idea of what was happening. And the restaurant they took me to, even I that was investing, I don't go there typically. In Ikoyi, I don't. I live in Ikoyi, I work in Ikoyi, my Ikoyi innovations in food technology in Ikoyi. I don't go there for lunch. They took me there on a Sunday and I said, hey, I know the price. Just give me water and money. And then he said, okay, fine, they also will take water. While they were going, I'm looking, they said, oh, they didn't want, they now order takeaway lunch. And I'm like asking myself, is this how you're spending $50,000 first lunch? I didn't do the second one. So again, that's the thing. I don't do that. I own the investment. I put the fund down. I know the risk of where you're playing. But the question is, do you also understand that, or do we think being a startup is a celebrity status? It's not. It's hard work. And of course, my PhD profile is around why startups are not scaling. And what we've seen is that there's a proliferation of SMEs, proliferation of startups. A third of almost all Nigerians, when you look at the number of startups, about 30 million Nigerians are into SMEs, but there's no poverty moderating effect. Instead, we are 66% multidimensionally poor, which is an aberration compared to global statistics, where with more proliferation of startups, employing 80% of the people, wealth creation happens, frugal innovation happens. The reverse is here. With more of those startups, poverty is being entrenched. It means there's no impact. There's no impact because we're not scaling. We're not scaling because there's no corporate governance. And investment is seen as grants. Until those things happen, we will continue to have these 2 challenges, in my personal opinion, with startups.
My question, as a follow-up question to this, would just be, is this the reason for the decline in investment in African tech businesses?
First is to go back and understand, why do people put money in startup? There's a difference between the money you take in a normal traditional business and startup money. Startup money is high risk money, which means you that you're putting in money, we call it entrepreneurial risk capital. I'm putting money in you believing that the risk is high, but why am I putting it? I believe that what makes you a startup and not an SME is that a startup is an organization with high growth potential and high return potential. So if I put my money in a bank today, it will give me 15, 16 maximum, but really it's around 10 or 12 return per year. So if I look at it 50%, okay, that you give to me, not even up to my capital. When I invest into a startup, I expect X5, which means 5 times my investment. If I give you 100 naira, I want 500 naira. But traditional investment, if I give you 100 naira, you give me 50. So you get the difference. So the person who is taking is expecting significant returns. That's why it's called entrepreneurial risk capital. That's the startup fund, it's not normal money. That's why banks can do it. High risk. And why you do it is because you expect that it's high risk. Some will win, some will lose, at the end you average out. So let's get that. However, why is there a winter? The problem now is the number of failure rates of startups who don't go beyond the pre-seed or who don't go beyond the seed stage is so high that when a portfolio investor looks at it, I'm not getting so much payback compared to now that inflation has happened, I can put my money in the bank and I'm getting safer return and it's safe. So when you look at it, when we were investing, and we talked about 2020 or before, an average interest was 0.5%. Or somewhere saw 0.5% a year. So if I give a startup who's giving me 20% return year on year, it's exciting. It's like making money for like 20 years in there, okay? But now the average interest rates in UK and US, UK is around 5.5 thereabout, and I think the US is around 6.5 to 7.5. So they can easily put their funds in any of those banks or and they'll get a comparative return than coming to Nigeria where your policy flip-flops, you have indisciplined founders and entrepreneurs who don't corporate governance, who don't come for AGMs and don't respond to emails. You have the Japa syndrome, which there's nothing you can do about. You can't find the skill set. The guy wants to build, he likes it. His CTUs are resigning every day. So you see quite a number of all those things come together, and the guy is asking himself, why would I put my money here with this risk when instead of 0 interest rate before that was making you move money out or 0.5% in a year, now I'm beginning to see 6, 7, 8%. So with all that, we're moving. Money is not sentimental. Money is not colored. Investment is apolitical, a tribal, money is money. So anywhere you get the return, you put it there, you get money out. So again, if we deal with our local nuances as a people, our indiscipline. I have founders who don't show up at work. I mean, they show me micromanage at work at 11, 30 they're still on their way. At 1:30, they don't show up for work. They're not yet in the offices. And you that you're investing and seated at 8:39, there are big issues around that. If we don't solve all those things that's not allowing us to drive operational performance and excellence and grow our businesses, we will, one, lock ourselves out first. So it's only the crumbs from Kenya, Rwanda, and all that that begins to trickle in. The other thing is also to make sure that when we deal with that, we're not able to give them the kind of returns that our demographics justify. Easy, oh, there are 200 and something million people. Question is, those 200 and something million people, how are you able to tap out of it? What's your solution? How applicable? I love blockchain, I love ChatGPT and everything, but guess what? The real niche, that affordable medium, that's what they're looking for. We are seeing the return of feature phones. Okay, how many smartphones do you think you have in Lagos? Now, when you look at the number, I mean, I did quite a lot of work pre-elections, and I can tell you only 5.2 million smartphones in Lagos. But hey, when you count that, I'm not saying 5.2 million people. I have 7 gadgets. That's how it's counted because I've got 3 marks in my 3 locations, 1 in the office and 2 I've got phones I've got. So when you look at 5 point something million divided by 5-6 people, we've got like maybe 1.2 million individual smartphones in Lagos. And Lagos accounts for about 6% of smartphone users across the whole country. So we are developing very difficult and deep tech solutions. What will be your penetration? But are you thinking of those feature phone solutions, USSD solutions, where there's mass aggregation? Those are the difficult conversations we need to have with founders to be able to define their business, scale their business, and attract the kind of investment that can come. Apologies for I took more time.
So, yes, that pretty much sums up the whole event. I hope you guys were able to learn one thing or two from this. You know, for me, I'm someone who believes no knowledge ever goes wasted. You need it sometime in the future. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't and turn on your notification bell. Do well to like, comment, and as well share if you want to. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. See you guys in my next video. Toodles!